Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is the third year that we've come up here for Crossroads Live. And this year it's a Cowboy Way Jubilee. My name is Dean Redding. I'm here with Jim Hoffpauir, who is the, I guess you're the originator of this TV show.
Well, yeah, me and someone else that's long gone, and many years ago.
Yep.
And they let me be on the show because I knew how to write a script.
Oh, good.
You know.
But anyway, we're up here. Tell them about some of the celebrities that
my goodness
are
gracious.
here on the site here.
Gracious. Our good friend Robert Fuller.
Robert Fuller
from Laramie.
Yeah.
And the couple of guys, what's his name? Dennis Holmes, wasn't he on that show? And Bobby Crawford. It's Bobby Crawford here.
He's not here yet, but hopefully
hopefully he's coming.
Of course, we're early. We're early here at the Cowboy Way, but we're going to stick around for a while and see who else shows up. Gary Clark's here.
Gary Clark with the Clark Five.
That's right.
The Dave Clark Five.
Yeah, I call them
the Gary Clark Five.
I call them Gary and the Clarkettes.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. But anyway, and we got James Drury, the Virginian himself is here.
And we're going to get it right this year. Roberta Shore is here.
Roberta Shore's here.
And we're not going to make that mistake I made last year because I've never lived it down.
Well, I was kind of embarrassed about it, but that's okay.
All right. Okay.
But anyway, Roberta's here. It's a nice deal this year. A bunch of old friends, we get together and talk to them, and it's nice to be here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, a lot of folks out here today, too.
Yeah, they've got a gunfight group out there.
Yeah, gunfight, and I'm glad we're not in the way.
They've got a musical talent here.
Yeah.
Various talented artists are here. And a good friend of mine that I am going to interview later on is John Farkas.
Yeah, you told me about him.
He's a
wonderful writer, right?
Oh, he's a great writer. He wrote a book called Not Thinking, Just Remembering, about the making of the movie The Alamo with John Wayne. But his latest book is called The Making of Tombstone.
Wonderful. Great movie. You know what? A lot of people, I don't know if you agree with this or not, I believe they're coming after us, man. All right, enjoy the fun fight. There it is.
I got some loud loads.
I don't know if you agree with this because I know you know a lot about film and television. And I have heard people talking about Tombstone, the movie, the one with Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer, saying as that is one of the best Westerns ever made.
I would go along with that, yeah. I mean, there's many really good Westerns, but Tombstone came out in 1993, and it really kind of re-emerged. It re-emerged as one of the great Western classics, and in years to come, it'll prove to be one of the top 25 maybe, I would think.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, and I read an article, and I don't know how accurate all this is, but I read an article that Val Kilmer said a lot of the success of Tombstone had to do with Kurt Russell.
Well, yeah, and we can get into that a little bit with John Farkas because he covered the subject enormously, and he's such a detailed author. If you ever get a chance to read the book, Not Thinking, Just Remembering, about John Wayne's The Alamo, that thing is that thick. Now, he didn't make the making of Tombstone. It's about that thick, but he's gonna add on to that in the years to come.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Yeah. And well, let me ask you. There's a big question I keep hearing a lot of people on a lot of shows ask: are Westerns going to make a big comeback?
Well, you hear people say that the Western has died. It's never died. It was just dormant for a while, but we'll always have Westerns because Westerns, as Robert Duvall once said, is the Shakespeare of America.
I like that. Yeah, I remember reading that
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's well, the Western is Americana to me.
Of course.
You
I
know,
mean,
and
it's purely American,
yeah, yeah.
just like apple pie.
I like apple pie.
I do
yeah.
too, with a little ice cream on top.
How about a cherry?
We can do that. We can go that route. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, put a little cherry on top. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. And but no, I'm really excited about being here today in Ardmore, and it looks great. A lot of good-looking folks out here today.
Yeah, and then boy, they are moving through here real
Yeah,
quick. They're having a
walking
seminar
through here and everything, and
music is over to our left.
Yeah.
We've got seminars over here to our right.
The what? Oh, seminar.
Yeah,
okay.
seminar, and they're talking about all kind of subjects and just some really interesting stuff. Right now, they're talking about book authors over there.
Have you seen Festus running around?
I have seen Festus. He was over giving a little talk this morning at the stage.
Well, I'm gonna have to round him up. We got to talk to him today.
Yeah, he'll be around.
And Bob Terry? Have you seen Bob Terry?
Bob Terry has not arrived here.
Has not arrived.
No.
Oh my God! We'll have to send a limo after him.
Well,
you know, a limo.
Give me the keys and I'll go get him.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Why don't we wrap this little segment up? And I tell you what we want to do is we don't want to forget that Pat Buttram's nephew is here. Mr.
John's
John
here. I spoke
Buttram.
to him yesterday, and we'll get him on camera here.
Yeah, and Gabby Hayes. Gabby Hayes is here.
He's here.
And wonderful people. And we just had a gentleman walk right in front of the camera. How about that? You did good. I know you want to be in the movies, right?
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to wrap this up.
We're going to wrap up, and we will be we'll be back with an exciting guest, and we're live right here in Ardmore,
Oklahoma. The Cowboy Way Jubilee.
There's another Ardmore anywhere?
I don't know.
Not that I know of. All right, here we are.
I don't know what them are.
All right, and welcome back to the Cowboy Jubilee. I got the great honor, 2 years in a row. 3 years. We met over in Gene Autry, Oklahoma.
Yeah, last year I had that bike.
Yeah, but
couldn't make it.
Yeah, but we saw each other over in Gene Autry, Oklahoma.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's when you found out he had a town.
That's right. I didn't know he had a town.
Yeah, he had a town. Yeah,
right. I'm thinking of getting one.
Marshall Gene Autry. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's right.
Well, I wanted to ask you. I'm so glad I got to see you again because I wanted to ask you about the time that I saw you on Facebook, and you was talking to this Barney Fife. Is that his name? Tell me about that guy.
Blame that fishy old Scudder. He tried to tell me that Matt Dillon was not a good sheriff.
Well, what was Andy Taylor?
He just appealed. Andy Taylor.
He didn't even wear a gun.
He don't wear a gun, and he ain't got no girlfriend except old Barney's his girlfriend, I think. But anyway,
what?
That's right. Anyway, he ain't got but one bullet. But he was saying, Andy Taylor, I said, how many people has Andy shot? And he said, none. I said, well, that ain't no sheriff.
Well, I want to ask you a question, though. He
What's
said
that?
he had one bullet.
Yeah.
You said you had 47, didn't you?
Yeah, I had 40 or more on there. I can't believe he got one bullet.
Yeah.
I told him if he wasn't careful, I was going to take my bullet and put it in manually.
Oh.
Without the gun.
Let me ask you a question.
All right, go on.
If you were down to who was the fastest draw with a gun, who would have been faster, Festus or Chester Good?
Oh, I beat Chester hands down. Chester, he couldn't even stay awake long enough to draw a gun.
Really?
No, he sleeps standing up and just, you know how he always just,
yeah. Well, I had a talk with him one time. He told me you was his cousin.
I ain't no cussing that thing. I don't like the cousins I got, but if I was to choose, I wouldn't choose him.
You wouldn't choose him?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, anyway, I know you've been touring around the country.
Yes, sir.
Agitating people.
Yes, sir.
And the thing about it is, you and I had this talk last time,
Yeah.
and I'm getting sick and tired of the fact you going around talking about my doc.
About your doc.
Yeah, my Doc Adams. You always
What?
talk bad about him.
Oh, I tell you what happened just the other day.
Yeah.
I took my dog up there to see old Doc, and I said, Doc, I need you to look at my dog. And he said, what's wrong with him? I said, well, look, he's cross-eyed. So old Doc, he took him in his arms. He started looking in his eyeballs and feeling around on his head. He said, Festus, I'm going to have to put him down. I said, you going to put him down just because he's cross-eyed? He said, no, I'm going to put him down because he's heavy.
He's what?
Heavy. I'll tell you what, that
Oh,
old
man,
he must think I got Indonesia or something.
Indonesia, yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
He just
Yeah.
always a pill-pushing tightwad. That's
Yeah.
what he is.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, I know you had a little back problem come up there last year. Now,
Yes, sir.
you didn't have Doc Adams working on you.
Not a chance of that old sawbones are working on me. I went and had the VA done it.
Oh, the VA. Okay,
the
well,
VA.
they know what they're doing.
I think.
You think?
I think.
Well, you look like you're in good shape.
I'm in fair shape. But,
Fair shape.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're able to do it. What was the last festival you at?
Well, you know, I can't play golf anymore.
You can't.
No, of course I couldn't play before, but I can't play it now.
Well, it ain't what it is. I didn't make it in the NBA. I was too short.
No, get out of town.
Yeah.
I think they prejudice. That's
Is that what it was?
NBA's prejudice.
Oh, it's because I'm from Indian Bayou, Louisiana.
Well, not only that, if you can't play basketball, they don't want you.
Well, that's true.
That's
true.
one way of thinking. I don't like them.
So what's next for you, partner? Where you headed?
Well, let's see. I just talked to a fella yesterday, and he wanted me to be in a movie there in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yes, sir. So
Well, that's a good place to be in a movie.
There ain't nothing else happening there, I don't reckon. But
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Well, I did a couple in Louisiana.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I know. Had the biggest secret yet.
Oh, yeah.
And no, we did. I did a movie back years ago in Louisiana, and you would have liked that movie.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
I got burnt to the stakes. Yeah.
Was it medium rare? Or?
It was burnt.
Oh,
buddy.
burnt. I
Yeah.
see.
The movie was called Road Killers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I played a guy that these bikers set on fire. And terrible. What are they doing there? A nice guy like me, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, I didn't know you then. You could have come with your gun and shot him.
I'd have straightened them bikers out just like that. I'd have drawn down on them.
I know you would have. Yeah.
That's right.
So,
I
in
kept
all
'em
your
from it.
career as a deputy and working
Yes,
for not Doc, but Matthew.
All right.
That's what you call him, right?
Yeah, Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew.
Yes, sir.
And how many gunfights did you have?
Oh, I can't count them on one finger.
So I take it you won all these fights.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I pretty much won them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be
That's what
sitting
I'm
here
talking
with
about.
you. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let
Did
you
you know that Matthew Dillon was shot 59 times?
Is that a fact?
Now, that sometimes I think about that, and I think, well, that wasn't too smart. I'd have quit after 2 times.
Yeah. Well, that's just like I tell you what. I was watching this Wanted Dead or Alive.
Yes, sir.
I was watching a series called Violent. That's Steve McQueen. It's a miracle he survived that thing. As many times he got shot and beat up.
I'm telling you.
Dave, it's always getting beat up by somebody.
If I was him, I'd have gone on to another show.
I think he did. All right. Thank you, Benson. I
Hey,
appreciate you being here,
James
buddy.
Hoffpauir, I
Good luck
appreciate it.
up there and on stage. And I know you're going to do a great job,
All
man.
right, thank
y'all,
you.
y'all get a
Good
chance. Come
talking
out
to
to
you.
come out to the festival and see this young man. He's great. It's Festus Hagen. All right. Thank you.
Well, hi, this is Dean Redding back at the Cowboy Way Jubilee in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and I'm here with a friend of mine. I'm proud to call him a friend of mine. I met this gentleman, John Farkas, in front of the Alamo several years ago.
That's a true statement, yes.
And John had written a book called Not Thinking, Just Remembering, which is the making of the movie The Alamo, which I think is one of the best lines that James Edward Grant ever wrote.
You know, and I agree with that. That line comes from John Wayne, and the night before the final battle, Denver Pyle asks him, "What you thinking, Davey?" And John Wayne goes, "Not thinking, just remembering." Obviously going back and thinking about his life, things he did, things he should have done, knowing full well he probably would die the next day in a battle. I thought it's a great line.
Yeah,
well.
it is. It is a great line. And, you know, I grew up in Texas, and the Alamo was something special for me. I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in history and English, and I even taught Texas history years ago. But you're from Michigan. What attracted you to the story of the Alamo in Texas?
You don't have enough time for me to tell that story. But I tell you what happened was when I was still working, before I retired, I was asked to go down to the Mexican-Texas border and see if I could find a location for a new plant. And one evening I found myself in Del Rio, Texas. One of my plant managers, he mentioned to me, he said, "You know, John," he said, "we've been on the road for several weeks. Why don't we go up to Brackettville?" And I said, "Well, what's in Brackettville?" He said, "Well, that's where John Wayne filmed the Alamo."
Mm-hmm.
Well, after about 4 or 5 beers, that sounded like a fine idea.
Yeah.
So we drove up there, and unfortunately, it was the day of Happy Shahan's funeral. I could not get
Wow.
in, and Happy owned the ranch, and I could not get into the Alamo to see it. But I made a vow I would go back, and I would do that. And I did. About 9 months later, I went back there. I love Texas history. I love Westerns. I love movies. And it just struck me, you know, knowing that this is a movie set, knowing that it really wasn't real, but just standing over the main gate at the end of the day and looking out over the town, looking out around the surrounding area. And I said to myself, you know, it just struck me. I had to do something. I had to write something about this story. And that kind of kicked off the idea.
Well, and speaking of your writing ability, you have a new book out. And you're actually here selling it at the Cowboy Way Jubilee and telling people about it and doing a seminar about it. Tell us about that book.
Okay, that book is called Tombstone, the Making of a Classic Modern Western. And the approach I took on that was to interview all the actors and actresses and the crew members behind the scenes and in front of the camera and ask them about their stories. You know, what their recollections were about the making of this movie. And then I told the story in the words of the people that were actually there. And I tried to not only tell the historical story of Wyatt Earp and Clanton and the OK Corral, but then I kind of folded it into the cinematic story, how the movie was actually made.
Yeah. And I haven't read it yet, but I will be reading it. And your first book I read it twice. It's so detailed. You go in such detail. It's analytical, and I guess that's something that you've accumulated over the years, the ability to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty anal. You know, I like to get into details. I like to do research, and I'm hoping that the audience that I have, the readers, appreciate that as well. And I spend a lot of time in things that maybe you might not necessarily think about. You know, whether it's the stunts or weapons or costumes or things of that nature. And I try to fold that into the story as well to make it a little bit more entertaining. I don't want this to be a standard making of story. I want to give you something that you might not necessarily get in other books.
Uh-huh. Now, the people that can't make it here to the Cowboy Way Jubilee, where can they, well, both your books, where can they get a copy of both your books?
Okay, you can get those online. They are available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can get them on eBay. They've been sold on eBay, Libris. They're generally online. They're not in the bookstores. We're trying to get them into bookstores, but right now you can get them from online websites. Or if you want an autographed copy, you contact me directly, and I'll be more than happy to sign a copy for you.
Great. You know, John, it's been a pleasure seeing you again here because it's been a couple of years since I've seen you. And I hope you're having a great time here at the Cowboy Way Jubilee.
I tell you what I am, Dean, and I'm just so happy to see you again. It was great.
Great. All right, we'll be back in just a bit.
All right, welcome back to the Cowboy Way Jubilee right here in Ardmore, Oklahoma. And I have the great honor of sitting here with Teresa Burleson. Tell me about this wonderful award you won.
Well, in 2017, the International Western Music Association awarded me with the Female Poet of the Year, and also I was awarded for my CD called The Calf Book as Poetry CD of the Year in 2017.
Okay. Well, tell me, inspiration. What gives you your inspiration?
Life in general gives me inspiration. Things that I see, people that I meet, events, situations in life.
Like being out here with all these wonderful people, are you going to be able to go home from this experience and have something to write about? Are you going to be able to
You,
write?
you just never know. I could. It might. I wrote a poem not long ago. Um, I walked outside and I saw our gelding standing there in the round pen, and it just inspired me. So I wrote a poem about him. So you just
Interesting.
never know.
Yeah. So, and most of your poetry that you write is about Western life?
Yes, it is. It's cowboy poetry.
Yeah.
And cowboy is really not gender specific. If you're doing the job, whether you're male or female, you're still a cowboy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How come I don't look at cowgirls that way?
You'll have to search your heart about that.
Anyway, but anyhow, I just wanted to be, take time to get you to come out here and do one of your poems. Pick one that anyone you'd like to do.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, just look right over that
All
way.
right.
I'm gonna step out of the way and let Mr. Danny Miller key in on you, and I'm
Okay.
gonna get out of your way and let you do it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This poem was inspired by a little boy that I saw at the Ranch Rodeo Finals in Amarillo, Texas. It's called The Investment because I believe our children and grandchildren are an investment to the future of our country. He's a rowdy 6-year-old and his mama's pride and joy. He looks like his daddy did when he was a little boy. His hat sits low atop his ears and the brim's a little bent. Beneath it are brown eyes, freckled face, and a nose that is skint. His shirt's buttoned to the top, like his daddy does. There's a trophy buckle at his waist and a pair of leather gloves. He wears hand-me-down boots with tall tops that are blue. His jeans are tucked inside 'em like the other punchers do. He sure looks like a cowboy, and that's what he wants to be. But there's much more to him than the clothes that you see. Why, he's already learning honor and treats his elders with respect. It's a pride in what he stands for and just what Mom expects. He's not impressed by celebrities who have fortune and fame. His daddy is his hero, and he proudly wears his name. He helps with the spring works and again at the fall gather. He looks forward to the fun, and he's learning what matters. When he's bigger, he'll flank 'em and stretch 'em out when they brand. For now, he'll do what he can and try to make a hand. Growing up a ranch kid teaches the value of work and play, and his parents watch with pride as he takes up the cowboy way. They know you have to let 'em try and let 'em have a turn, and if you don't take 'em with you, they will never learn. He is cherished by a gentle love that is kind and firm. When needed, he's disciplined with a hand that is stern. This little boy is an investment in a heritage and tradition. To teach a child the way to go is a God-given commission. Now, he may choose a different path than the one his parents sought, but he'll always have the ethics and the values he's been taught. Right now, he's only 6 years old, but one day he'll understand. It ain't about being a cowboy. It's about being a good man. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And wonderful having you here. Wonderful
Well,
having you here at the Jubilee.
it's an honor to be here and an
Yeah.
honor to meet you.
Well, it's very honored. I've followed you. I've seen you on Facebook many times, and I've seen clips of you, and it's really nice to meet you in person.
Well, thank you very much.
And good luck with your album. Did we show the album? Hang on. Here we go. Let's show this album and get a good shot of the album. And how
And
many
stay
songs?
tuned because I have a new one coming out
Oh,
soon.
wonderful. What's the name, you know?
The new one's going to be called West Texas Heat.
All right. And you have how many songs on
11 on that one. There'll be 12 on the
well,
new
they're
one.
poems. I keep saying
Yes.
songs, but
Well,
they-
that could be made into a song.
it could be, yeah. Well, we'll find you a songwriter, right?
Yeah.
Help you out there. There you go. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to say thank you very much,
Well, thank you.
Miss Teresa, and we appreciate
It's
you
been a
very much.
pleasure.
Thank you for doing the poem for us, and you are an inspiration to all of us.
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And I'm going to go home and write a poem about meeting Teresa. Thank you.
Well, we're back here at the Cowboy Way Jubilee in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and it's my pleasure to introduce to y'all John Phipps, who is portraying Tonto and honoring a tribute to Tonto. So tell us about how all that came about.
Well, thanks at all for interviewing me to begin with. I really appreciate it because you got a lot of special people here this weekend,
And you're one of them.
Well, thank you very much. I started portraying Jay, giving a tribute to him, I'd rather say, 12 years ago. Jay started breaking horses. He was from Bradford, Canada. He was a full-blooded Mohawk, and but he started breaking horses when he was around 17 years old. Then later he started.
They're having a shootout over there somewhere, but I don't think they're going to bother us.
But people
I
had.
don't think they're shooting at us.
I hope to God not. Hope they're lousy shots anyway. Hope there ain't. But,
Before we get on, tell us, who is this?
This is Princess. I've had her 9.5 years. She's a very special dog. She loves car rides. Dan Haggerty, old Grizzly Adams, met her 4 years ago. He got down on his knees in a gravel parking lot and loved him, and just hugged on her and loved on her. And Dan was a very special person. Of course, he passed away here.
Right.
But he loved people, and he was a lot of fun to be around with. Dan grabbed up my knives, and he threw up my target, too. And
Well, Jay Silverheels, come to think of it, I don't know what his last movie was, but I remember seeing him in Santee with Glenn Ford. And that had to be one of the last movies he was in.
Yeah.
And that was a movie that Caruth Bird was a producer on that, who I'd known. And they shot that on videotape, which was a new thing for them to do. It's not like the stuff that we have today, and it was not like film that they were shooting before. But I wanted to tell you that I had the opportunity to interview Clayton Moore at the Fort Worth Rodeo many, many, many years ago when he was a mascot for the Texas Rangers baseball team there. Did you ever meet Clayton?
No, I never had the pleasure of meeting Clayton. He came to my hometown over in Decatur, Illinois.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Years back. He came to one of the schools. He didn't come to ours, unfortunately, but I've always heard a lot of good things about Clayton. I've got a good friend named Gordy Peer that taught Clayton back in the 50s how to do the fancy gun spinning.
Oh, really?
And they become friends, and they work together off and on years, all through the years. And he kept in contact up until he passed away.
Yeah. How long ago was that till he passed away?
It was a couple days, let me see, December the 28th, 1999, I believe it was.
Okay.
I went to work that day, and one guy said, Tonto, I'm surprised you came into work. I said, why is that? And he said, because Clayton passed away, the Lone Ranger.
Well, and besides Jay Silverheels, there were some other Native American actors that portrayed Tonto. What can you tell us about some of them?
I'm sorry, I was talking to the dog.
Some of the other Native Americans that played Tonto. Tell us about them.
One was Chief Thundercloud, was in the first movies with Lee Powell that did him in, I believe it's 39, 1940. But he was a Cherokee from Oklahoma, Chief Thundercloud. And I wear cowboy boots kind of in honor of him, too.
Yeah.
And the Tonto outfit from Jay from the 50s series of the Lone Ranger.
In case you're wondering about what she's concerned about, there's a little miniature horse right over there.
Yeah.
And she acts like she wants to go over and visit with that miniature horse.
Okay, she loves to ride horses. We've been horse riding before, and she
good.
does real great. And,
So where are you located? Where's your home base?
Well, I live in Linden, Indiana.
Okay.
And, but
and you came all the way down here to Ardmore, huh?
Yes, I actually grew up in Illinois, home of Wyatt Earp and Wild Bill Hickok. Princess.
Well, John, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I know we'll see you down the road again. And your tribute to Jay Silverheels, that's a worthy cause.
Well, thank you very much. Jay,
yeah, they're having a gunfight out there.
yeah. Jay become a Christian later in life too, and I read a letter that he wrote to somebody, and there's no doubt about it at all. And one of these days I'll get to meet him, and we'll go for a ride together.
Great. Well, it's nice having you on.
Well, thank you very much.
Till we meet again, good luck, God bless, and we'll see you at the Crossroads. Let's go, Dan.